So many Android devs are facing constant rejections when they apply to job offers. There is a common belief that the market is down and some people even fear being replaced by AI. Meanwhile, I've helped over 50 people in the last year only to land high-paying Android dev roles within weeks. I personally got 3 job offers within 2 weeks after I got laid off earlier this year. Sure, the market did change, but it is far from being as down as it is perceived. In this video, I'll show you what actually changed, what are the mistakes that people do when they're applying to jobs, why most of the time they get ghosted, and how to fix that for good. You see, up to 2021-2022, Android developers didn't even need to apply for jobs. Mobile is in demand, everything gets on mobile, so Android developers were constantly bombed by emails and offers from recruiters and hiring managers. So it was super easy to just make a decision to switch to another role and get going. However, because IT is a booming technology, everybody wants to be in IT, there is an exponential number of people coming to mobile development year after year. And because of the fact that there is an exponential number of people coming to the market every year, the entry-level barrier to get into the market naturally got up. Now companies demand more from the people that they are hiring. They demand people that they are hiring to be better prepared, to be ready for bigger challenges, people that they can figure out things on their own, people that can communicate better and work more efficiently in general. In the last year or so, AI made it even worse because people are abusing AI in order to pass interviews. And therefore the companies needed to find out different ways to assess the candidates to figure out whether these are the candidates that are going to be a best match and best fit for the role. As a result of the increased number of people coming to IT every year, recruiters and hiring managers don't necessarily need to go and hunt people any longer. Now the candidates are the ones that are applying for work, and then the recruiters and the hiring managers will actually have to go through the CVs and their applications in order to figure out who's going to be the best match. That brings us to the next problem, which is an overflow of job applications. Now the recruiters and the hiring managers need to go to a huge list of applications to figure out who's gonna be the right candidate for the role. Now, because shortlisting all these job applications takes a lot of time and effort, recruiters and hiring managers are using some toolings to shortlist the CVs. Those toolings are usually called application tracking systems, and then these ATS systems are looking into all the CVs and they shortlist the ones that are a better match for the job description. The rest of the CVs usually get rejected, and that's why most of the time people are receiving that email: unfortunately, we decided to proceed with another candidate. Thanks for applying, better luck next time. Given all this problem at hand, let's take a look at what are the mistakes that people do when applying to jobs and how to fix them. The first and most important thing people do before applying to jobs is researching the market they are targeting. So instead of going through the market and figuring out what are the current trends, what are the current demands, and what they need to do in order to be able to get to the interview, they're just applying to the jobs blindly, thinking that their 5 years or 10 years of experience is just enough to be shortlisted and get considered for the technical interview. Doing such a market research sounds like a lot of work, and in fact it is, and we as programmers need to do this work if we want to land a role that we deserve. The second mistake people do when applying for roles is applying with the very same CV they've created 2.5 years ago, haven't been updated, and maybe even halfly baked with AI. You see, we have to understand that the CV is our entry ticket to the party, is our entry ticket to the technical interview. And in that sense, first we need to do a market research to figure out what the market wants, especially before applying to a particular job. We need to figure out what is this job demanding, whether we can deliver on that or not, and then tune our CV accordingly. So we have to make an update to the CV each and every time before applying for a particular role. When it comes to tuning the CV, we have to be aware that most probably this CV will be taken through ATS first of all, or some form of AI to figure out whether it is a match for the particular job description. And in that sense, we can perform a test before we submit our CV for a particular job application. We can test it on our own to figure out whether it is a match or not, or how much it is a match and how we can improve it further. Simply listing our job experiences from the past and adding a bunch of skills is not enough. We have to tune the CV and deliver what were our responsibilities, what were the things that we have achieved in the past, and what do we bring on the table, why we are the match for the particular role. So instead of wasting a lot of time and effort to make some fancy CV that you can reuse for all job applications and reduce your work, actually put the effort to tune it for each and every job application, make sure that it is a better match according to the job description, and only then submit. The third mistake is not including a motivation letter. Most of the jobs, most of the time, are having the motivation letter as optional or just ignored, but we as professionals need to submit a motivation letter as well. Attaching a motivation letter alongside the CV when applying for job applications is of a vital importance because it shows that we have done our homework to do a research about the company, about their values, what do they do. Additionally, the motivation letter shows off our communication skills because we have to say who we are, what do we bring to the table, why we are a good match, how do we align with the company values and the job that they are performing, and how would joining this company be a positive impact on our career. So we are going to be a net positive contributor to this team, to this company. So whenever we are applying, make sure that we attach both the CV and the motivation letter. And even if there is no space for motivation letter, we can figure out a way how we are going to do that by outreaching afterwards, after the application. And that's the next mistake that people are making, which is clicking apply, submitting the CV and the documents, and call it a day. So whenever you are submitting a new job application, instead of just clicking submit, filling out the form, attaching the documents and click submit, you have to also outreach afterwards. The first thing you can do is, if there is a hiring manager attached to the job posting, reach out to them. If not, go to the company description, find out what are the people that are working inside, find somebody who is related to hiring, or maybe just somebody who is part of the team that is hiring, and reach out to them. And there you're going to send your motivation letter message. So tell them that you saw this job post offer, express interest into joining the team, how you are going to be a good contributor, and also include a call to action at the end. So tell them that you are waiting for their reply. Tell them that you have already applied, tell them your motivations, and afterwards you can say, I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. Now, why this is important? First, it shows interest that you actually care about this work and that you actually want to get there. If you are reaching out to somebody who might refer you additionally, it is a benefit for them because most of the time they would get some sort of bonus. And the third thing is you are getting more in front of their radar. So you're increasing the likelihood for them to spot you and to reach out back to you or consider your application in the first place. In that sense, the outreach after you submit your job application is crucial. So you definitely must remember to always reach out after you make that application. So please don't forget this step. The final mistake that I see people making whenever they're applying to jobs is not following up. So if they get ghosted in the next 7 days after they make a job application, they are not following up with additional email. And that's a big mistake. So if you are feeling like you are ghosted and nobody replied to you, just follow up with another email, make a positive reinforcement, something along the lines of, I am hoping to hear back from you soon, and then submit that follow-up. If you are ghosted again for additional 7 to 10 days, send a second follow-up, and that's gonna be the hard limit, like 2 times the most, and only then you are going to give up that particular job application. And because you are going to be making a lot of job applications, it is very important to create some form of Excel sheet that you can call a job tracker, and there you are going to track each and every application and what is the status with that job application particularly. So with each job application, you know what's the status, where you are in the flow, where do you have to reach out, and so on and so forth. Now, once you start applying all of these, I guarantee you that you will get some traction and you will start being invited to interviews. However, you don't want to make the next mistake that most of people do, which is going to interviews unprepared. That's why I created a brand new program that helps junior and mid-year Android developers land high-paying roles within 6 months by helping them with one-on-one coaching and mentorship. If that's something that will help you, find a link below this video and enroll the waitlist.